Hey folks, Happy New Year's. Welcome back to the first episode of Too Long Didn't Read in 2022. My name is Kim and I'm a developer advocate for Flow, and we have some really exciting stuff to start this year off with a bang, so let's jump right into it. First up, Neway has integrated with Flow, adding another tool for frictionless fiat to crypto payments. They offer great payment experience options for consumers and developers on Flow. We are thrilled to have them join the growing ecosystem and play a crucial part in enabling the mainstream adoption of Web3. Check out more in the link below. Next, for all the fashion lovers out there, the Mint team empowered an amazing auction featuring Barbie and fashion giant Balmain on the 11th. The event featured 3 avatars, with each creation complemented with a one-of-a-kind physical set of the Barbie-sized Balmain pieces, creating a totally unique and digital art collection. If you missed the Barbie auction, don't worry. The Seeds presale ends this weekend, so don't miss your chance to join a community with a cause. Seeds is the first play for purpose game where players reduce global emissions by collecting plant-inspired creatures, the Zeedles. So cute! Check it out at the link below. Finally, we end the round to announce that the team is focused on building out stable cadence, which is a version of cadence that is tested and verified to the point where mainnet can allow unrestricted contract deployments, just like testnet. We would love to hear your thoughts and ideas about its key features in the article linked below. And that is all for this week, folks. Thanks so much for joining us, and hope to see you on next week's episode of TLDR. See ya! Hey folks, Happy New Year's. Welcome back to the first episode of Too Long Didn't Read in 2022. My name is Kim and I'm a developer advocate for Flow, and we have some really exciting stuff to start this year off with a bang, so let's jump right into it. First up, Neway has integrated with Flow, adding another tool for frictionless fiat to crypto payments. They offer great payment experience options for consumers and developers on Flow. We are thrilled to have them join the growing ecosystem and play a crucial part in enabling the mainstream adoption of Web3. Check out more in the link below. Next, for all the fashion lovers out there, the Mint team empowered an amazing auction featuring Barbie and fashion giant Balmain on the 11th. The event featured 3 avatars, with each creation complemented with a one-of-a-kind physical set of the Barbie-sized Balmain pieces, creating a totally unique and digital art collection. If you missed the Barbie auction, don't worry. The Seeds presale ends this weekend, so don't miss your chance to join a community with a cause. Seeds is the first play for purpose game where players reduce global emissions by collecting plant-inspired creatures, the Zeedles. So cute! Check it out at the link below. Finally, we end the round to announce that the team is focused on building out stable cadence, which is a version of cadence that is tested and verified to the point where mainnet can allow unrestricted contract deployments, just like testnet. We would love to hear your thoughts and ideas about its key features in the article linked below. And that is all for this week, folks. Thanks so much for joining us, and hope to see you on next week's episode of TLDR. See ya! Episode of TLDR. See ya!
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I think now it's gone beyond 25, so cool.
And we're live. Welcome. Andrea, take it away.
Hey everyone, welcome to the first office hours of the year. My name is Andrea. I recently joined the Flow team in November of last year as developer advocate, and I'll be hosting the office hours today. So glad to be here. We have a really cool agenda lined up, and as always, we'll also have questions later. We'll have time later for questions. But first, before we get into the agenda, I'd love for at least all of the Flow team to introduce themselves. So maybe we can go in alphabetical order. Kim, do we have a list of people so that we can call on them?
Yes. So let's just go alphabetical order as we see down the list, but I'm creating a list as we speak.
Okay, cool.
Carol, you could start, and then Carol can go afterwards.
Okay. I already introduced myself, but I'll do it again. So I'm Andrea, the developer advocate on the Flow team.
Hey, I'm Carol, also known as Ask Alice in the server. I'm brand new. I'm the community lead here at Flow, and I'm going to be helping you guys get your answers, creating fun community events, and probably being more active in the Discord. So super excited to talk to all of you, especially all of the community reps. If you guys want to help improve the community, reach out to me. I'm probably going to be setting weekly meetings so that we can do some work together. So yeah, excited to meet everyone.
Hi, I'm Bastian. I'm working on the Cadence team. Pleasure to be here.
Hey everyone, I'm Greg. On the developer experience team, working on FCL and JavaScript SDK.
Hey everyone, Jan is here. I work on the Flow virtual machine.
And I'm Doig.
Hey, I'm Josh. I'm a smart contract engineer on the Flow team.
Hi everyone, my name is Kim, and I'm a developer advocate for Flow.
I'm not going in order, but hey everyone, I'm David O. Just joined the company and focusing on product marketing.
You can start from Mac. Hey.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I hit the hang up button. I was like, it's my time. And I just.
Sorry about that, Mac.
Sorry, yeah, I got nervous. I blew it. Good morning, everyone, or hello. My name is Mac. I'm an engineer on the DevX developer experience team. I work on Kitty items at the moment and the doc site. Happy to have you all here.
Hello everyone, my name is Max. I'm on developer experience as well. I'm working on Flow.js testing framework and Flow Cadet.
Hey, my name is Gregor. I also work on developer experience team, mostly working on Go tools and lately on the RESTful API for XSnode.
Hey everyone, I'm Srinjoy. I'm a product manager on the developer experience team, so I work closely with a lot of the engineers and folks here.
Hello everyone, I am new to Flow as well. I am a community manager, so I'll be working alongside Carol. You'll probably see me in the Discord and the forums and sort of everywhere trying to help you guys get some answers to your questions.
Hi, my name is Bruno, and I'm a developer advocate for Flow.
All right, awesome. So, as I mentioned, we have a packed agenda. For those of you who don't know, office hours are just a time where we huddle as a team, and anyone from the community can join, can have conversations, ask questions, have cool discussions, as well as have demos from the community of cool projects that people are working on. Speaking of, we have a really cool demo today, or at least a presentation from Jacob Tucker, who created the Emerald City DAO. After that, we'll have a discussion around stable cadence with Bastian. Since, for those of you who don't know, we recently announced stable cadence, and Bastian is one of the masterminds behind it and the perfect person to ask questions to. Then we can break out into special breakout rooms. We can stay on this channel for general questions. We can have a Cadence breakout room and an SDK/FCL breakout room as well. And at the end, we will have a survey for you regarding office hours. So we realize that for a lot of you, this is Friday night. For some of you, it may be very early Friday morning. It may not be ideal. So we prepared a survey to kind of get your feedback on how office hours have been and any suggestions you may have, and also, a couple time options that you can vote for so that we can kind of find the time that suits everyone best. But all of that can be done and can be talked about later. So I will hand it over to Jacob now to talk about City DAO.
Oh yeah, thanks, Andrea. So hey everybody, yeah, this is Jacob, yours truly, from the Emerald City DAO. It's really great to be here. I always forget how much I love these office hours. There's a really positive vibe going on. So I really appreciate all of you taking the time to listen to me. So yeah, what is Emerald City, I guess? Well, I guess I'll say initially that I was going to make a slide deck and presentation, but I didn't want to bore all of you, so I'm just going to be sort of talking through some of the things we're doing. And I'll share my screen and just show you maybe some of the cool things that's going on in the Emerald City Discord. So first of all, I guess, what is Emerald City? I'll go ahead and share my screen here, if that's all right. And I'm just going to showcase some parts of the Emerald City Discord. So we initially started back in, I think it was November. BZ and I, BZ's actually in this Flow office hours, hey BZ. And we were actually in an office hours ourselves, and we were sort of talking through some of the things that were going on in the Flow ecosystem, as one usually does. And we were thinking, what about DAOs on Flow? Is there sort of like a process for getting a DAO founded on Flow? And one of the things we realized was that there were a lot of people in the Flow ecosystem that had really, really great ideas about DAOs on Flow, but there was no real mechanism to sort of get those going. And so over time, we initially founded this Discord, and it sort of became like a nice side discussion about the Flow ecosystem and stuff like that. And we had some members joining here and there, but it quickly became this thing where we realized that we wanted to help these DAOs and projects as well, sort of get the tooling they needed to get running in the Flow ecosystem. And so over the past 2 months, we've had incredible discussions and very lengthy discussions about how to support DAOs and projects on Flow. And so I'm going to show you sort of how we're doing that right now. So you'll see on the left-hand side here, I'll minimize this. There's 3, we're calling them guilds on Flow. There's an education guild, a building guild, and a governance guild. Now, what our main goal is in Emerald City is it's really twofold. It's one, to educate the Flow community and help people get on board into the space. Because, we really value that and want people to enjoy the Flow ecosystem as much as, some, developers do on Ethereum and other blockchains as well. And of course, we all do here as well. I'm sure we all share that goal. And the second goal is to build the tooling for all future DAOs on Flow. And we're sort of roping in projects as well because we found that they sort of need that tooling as well. So you might be asking, well, how does it make sense to tie both of the things together into one sort of project, right? Education and building is very different, and they're very unique in their skill sets. But we view it as really beneficial because as people sort of get educated in the Flow ecosystem and as we onboard people into the space, what we can do is sort of provide people the educational resources they need through YouTube videos and content like that. And we can sort of guide them along to eventually, quote unquote, like graduating into the building process. And so this is a way of really onboarding people and not only giving them resources to learn, but, they can sort of apply those learning resources to real world tasks that are being assigned by the DAO itself. And so, for example, if you're a total Cadence noob like I was at some point, you want to learn some Cadence stuff, we provide you the resources to do that. And then after you sort of get an understanding for it, allow you to sort of delve into your own projects that, directly benefit the Emerald City DAO itself. So that's sort of what's going on in the Education Guild, providing the resources necessary to start learning. And then there's the Building Guild, right? So this is sort of the group of people that are acting to build the tooling for DAOs on Flow. So if any of you have heard of Emerald City so far, you've probably heard of the Emerald Bot, which is really our main piece of tooling right now that's been helping out some DAOs on Flow. And so one example of this, actually, what I'll do is I'll go to the left-hand side here, and I have a list of folders of all the projects right now that are supporting the Emerald bot. So let's go into .find, for example, because Bjartek is in this Discord, and I love Bjartek. And so if we were to go to verify find name, you'll see that Bjartek has actually set up the Emerald bot in his Discord to verify the .find role. And so you can see here that because I actually have a .find name, woohoo, I would recommend supporting .find. It's an awesome project. But because I have a .find name, when I clicked on verify, it automatically gave me the role. And so this is really cool. You can imagine it as sort of like a collab.land equivalent on Flow, but even cooler. Woohoo! I like to think of ourselves as cooler than collab.land. But anyway, so yeah, and one of the recent things that we've actually implemented is initially, we were sort of allowing this bot to be in any Discord, and we would set up the verification for all the projects. So .find, we're in Matrix World, the Flownth project, Party Goobs, the Genie Ace community, Flowvitar as well. I see Luca's actually in here from Flowvitar. Hey there. And what we were doing is basically allowing them to verify, but a new thing that we've done is Emerald ID, which basically says if you've ever verified with the bot before, you can pretty much automatically verify yourselves with any different projects on Flow. And so you can see that when I actually verify myself here, it automatically knows who I am, because the bot knows I'm Jacob. It knows that I'm the coolest person in the world. And so it's automatically verifying myself here. So that's one of the recent improvements that we've done. We're doing a lot of new things to make sure this is, sort of robust and that the Discord bot can handle a lot of the load that's coming in. But that's just one example of the building guild so far. And we plan on, sort of expanding this to a multitude of projects on Flow to support anybody. And we actually have, you can see on the right-hand side here, Bam and Kelcoin. They're really, I can't express enough how amazing they are. Kelcoin, I know you're actually here. And what they're doing is they're reaching out to other DAOs on Flow and projects and seeing what tools they need. And if they need something besides a Discord bot, whether it's a voting tool or something like that, we're here to provide that and help in whatever way we can. So our goal really is to support the people on Flow. And then the last sort of thing here, so I don't bore you guys, but just a few more minutes of me talking, is the Governance Guild. And what the Governance Guild really is it's a group of people that are constantly working to sort of get a example of governance on Flow. So right now, if you think of things like Ethereum, what we can actually do is I'll pull up this website, snapshot.org. There's this voting tool on Snapshot that allows these really popular DAOs to, vote. And so if you've heard of like ENS, that's like the ENS protocol, they basically allow people to vote and stuff like that, and they do that by token holding. But we want to design this for Emerald City and for DAOs on Flow, because DAOs on Flow are 10 times cooler than DAOs on Ethereum, right? And so this is really, us trying to figure out what's fair and how can we really be a use case? How can we really use ourselves as a use case for DAOs on Flow? Because we want to be the one breaking those barriers. We want to be the ones testing these things so that when other DAOs on Flow sort of come into play, they can use these things in their own projects and know that it works, right? And so we have people constantly talking about what we can do to actually get that going. Many thanks to a lot of the people that are actually in this office hours. Support Monkey, Andrea himself has been so incredibly helpful. Kelcoin, a bunch of people. But we're all really working to sort of come up with a system that makes sense. And so right now, one example of this that we have is sort of a reputation system. Now, this is a very, very minimalistic thing right now. It's not actually live or anything, but this is one example that's on testnet right now of what reputation is. And essentially, if you think about it, we're trying to create a system where people in certain DAOs on Flow get these skill points or reputation in certain categories based on their expertise. So if you're in the Emerald City DAO and you're educating a lot of people, you get educator skill points. If you're building out the Emerald City bot or building out products, you get technical skill points. And then when a vote comes around, your voting power depends on your skill points, right? So if you've really contributed to education, then you should have higher say when it comes to voting in terms of education. So that's the system we're developing right now. We're really excited about this, and a lot of the discussions we have are actually leading towards getting an example out there for people to start using. And I'm really excited about that. And that's one thing to look forward to. We've already had 2 town hall meetings, or 3 town hall meetings, which is what we're calling sort of like our meetups every other week. and we're probably going to be having one next Saturday. So if you're interested in getting involved in Emerald City, you can do that through discord.gg/Emerald City. You'll join this Discord. And then feel free to just, find your home in whatever way you want. If you want to help with education, building, governance, we're totally open. And we have some initial funding to sort of help people get going. So if you're looking to contribute to maybe the building and building out the Emerald bot, we have funds to support you, and we want people to take ownership of things in Emerald City. So like I said before, they can really take their learnings, whether they're, coming in with no blockchain knowledge. We want to help support you in your blockchain journey and then get you building real world stuff. But if you're already an experienced Cadence or backend or front end developer, whatever you may be, we want to provide sort of like the funds to help you get building some real world stuff in Emerald City to help support the DAO as well. So I hope that was interesting to all of you. And again, I want to thank Andrea for letting me come in here and sort of introduce this to all of you. So I'm thanking you very much.
Thanks, Jacob. Yeah, definitely check out the Emerald City Discord. Not only is it a great project, but it's a really great community, really good positive vibes. And as you could probably tell from Jacob, filled with a lot of smart people, including himself. So definitely check it out. So in the interest of time, we can keep questions at the end that can also be about the Emerald City DAO, but let's move forward with discussing stable cadence. So maybe Bastian, can you introduce yourself again? I know that you are give a little bit of context as to why why stable cadence, what you've been doing, and why it's important for the community.
Yeah, of course. Hi everyone, I'm Bastian. I'm part of the Cadence team at Dapper Labs, and this is pretty exciting. I don't know if you've seen the announcement earlier this week, but we are working on stable cadence. So if you don't know what stable cadence is, it's going to be the next major release of Cadence. Cadence has been in development for a long time, and we've come to a point where we really want to be able to allow anyone to deploy contracts on mainnet, just as you do on testnet. So the goal really is permissionless deployment, and yeah, we also want to take this time to fix and improve some of the learnings that we had over the last couple of years with all the hundreds of great contracts that you've all written. Before we kind of move to this really stable release that we are going to plan to long-term support. Most importantly, that release will sort of be the first release where we engage more with the community, and we really want to have the community have a say in what the stable cadence release should be. And so how are we going to do that? So we had this announcement in the forum. If you haven't read it yet, I will definitely share a link later. Again, so you can have a read through the sort of longer description of what I'm just explaining. And the plan is to engage with the community. And from our side, we have some ideas how we could improve Cadence. So there's still some weird APIs or things that don't quite work well. We really want to make stable Cadence like this great release that the hundreds of future contracts that are still yet to come will be much better. And so we already have some proposals out. Please have a look at them and share your thoughts. There will also be more proposals, and also you're very welcome to have your say. It's very easy to propose changes. Just basically go to GitHub, open a new pull request that adds a new flip, and there is a whole process lined out for how to do that, and we can help you with that, of course. And really, the goal is to change Cadence and make it better. One of the things that is out of scope for stable Cadence, and I really want to emphasize that it's not gonna be Cadence 1.0. So it's not gonna be feature complete. There's still a lot of features we want to add, but we also don't want to kind of like wait for this permissionless release of Cadence where we have a lot of interest from the community to deploy on mainnet, and people should be able to deploy to mainnet. We really want to make that a priority. Yeah, if you have any feedback, any questions, any concerns, please reach out in the forum announcement. There's already quite a lively discussion there. You can reach out to us in the Cadence channel. Yeah, please chime in because we really want to hear from the community what stable cadence should be. As for the timeline for that, there isn't really any timeline. It really depends on the community feedback. So one aspect is that there's some proposals, and I really want to emphasize they're proposals. They're not definitive plans. So it could be definitely the case where most of the proposals are not accepted. For example, the community values that permissionless deployment should come earlier. Whatever we have currently is not great, but maybe good enough. We might have cadence stable cadence earlier. We probably all agree that we want to make stable cadence great. So there are probably some changes that will still come, and these will be breaking changes. So I also want to point out that to make things better, we have to change things, and that means that some of the code that already exists will have to be updated. But we want to discuss that with you, and your particular contract is maybe affected more by some of the changes. So please reach out. We're very open for feedback. And yeah, if you have any questions, just let us know. Maybe we have time to have like more questions here. But we can also continue the discussion in the cadence breakout room.
I think we have some time to discuss a little. So cool. It would be nice to have everyone here.
Is there any idea on how long it will take for there to be a public release of stable cadence?
Well, like I just mentioned, so there's like a few proposals out there. Some of them have already accepted. Some of them have even been implemented already. There are more proposals from our side that we want to get out. One, for example, is improving the fungible token and non-fungible token standards, but more from a language design, language feature perspective to make those contracts more flexible and more powerful. Depending on if they are accepted or not, it might take, of course, some time to implement that change. We want to give the developer community some time to update their contract. So there's like a period of time where we have the release available in the emulator and on testnet, and then developers have some time to update. And eventually we will, turn that switch on mainnet too. And the other part is also whatever we have at the moment, we also want to have a code audit for. So we are going to have like a full code audit for the current Cadence implementation to make sure it's like bulletproof and safe and secure. And that takes some time, right? So I don't have any timeline, but it also varies a lot based on the community feedback. Maybe there are like a lot of people here that have really great ideas that we haven't had yet for changes, and the community agrees we should all get them in. And then of course it takes like some time to agree on that with the community, have some discussions, have like a period of time where we have to implement that, of course. So it really varies. It's hard to have any estimate there. Does anyone else have any questions? I guess not, but thank you for listening. And yeah, please reach out. Thank you.
Thanks, Bastian. And for those of you who don't know, we often get it. We often see people on Discord saying how much they love cadence over solidity. Bastian is probably one of the very few people that you should thank for that. If you have questions, Bastian is the perfect guy to ask. And we can probably have a separate breakout room dedicated to cadence later. But before we break up into breakout rooms, I wanted to check in. Does anyone have any questions related to what was just discussed, or can we move forward? We have a lot of time, so don't worry. Don't be afraid to raise your hand or unmute and just ask a question.
Hi, this is Luca from
Hey, Luca.
Flovatar. Hi. So I wanted to ask about stable cadence. How will it be? Will it be running in parallel with cadence and all the smart contracts that are out there, and will it run on the same nodes, or how will the relationship between stable cadence and cadence be once both are out? Will one replace the other?
Yeah, that's a good question. It will definitely, I think, be a replacement. There is this problem of kind of incentivizing the move to a new platform, or in this case, new version. If you would have to, run both versions at the same time, that's like both a crazy technical challenge. Sort of these two versions would be incompatible. How do you use one with the other? Is that even possible? How do we run both at the same time? And also, like I mentioned, it's an incentive problem where likely if we have stable cadence available, no one wants to be the first person, right? Like everyone depends on something else. And no one is like sort of the first mover. So we definitely are going to have just one version, stable cadence, and that's the version you have to adopt, right? And that's the case at the moment too. Every time we have a spork where we have a new release of cadence and it involves breaking changes, we deploy it to everyone. Like all the contracts get this new version. This will be very much the same. The main difference will be sort of like the amount of probably breaking changes. Now, I'm not saying that the amount will be like having like a sort of direct impact on your particular contract. Some of the breaking changes are very minimal code changes, like maybe changing like one line of code in your contract. But that will be definitely required. So that's why we want to reach out to the community and propose these changes and not just force them. And maybe you're not agreeing with those forced changes.
It makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you're in the process of... Sorry?
Oh,
Go
I was
ahead,
just
Russ.
saying thank you for the great questions. But if anyone has any other questions, please let us know.
Yep. And as Bastian said, this is not the only forum where we can discuss this. This is, we actually have a real forum where the stable cadence announcement has been posted to. There's already a lengthy discussion. We posted the link in the office hours text chat. So if you need to read through it, ponder on it, and kind of offer your perspective, please go to that forum post, as well as contribute a flip on GitHub or comment on the existing flips. For those of you who don't know, flips are flow improvement proposals, and that's how we're kind of governing the changes that come to flow. Cool. Thanks a lot, Bastian, for coming in and talking about stable cadence. I'm sure everyone is very excited for permissionless deployment. All right. Well, I'll give everyone some time to think about questions. I know it's a little daunting when you're in a big room and you know you don't think your question is worth asking, but it is. And I'll just mention, as I did at the beginning, that we have a survey that's going to go out. Well, we're going to link a survey regarding office hours themselves. So we want to make sure that this format is useful and conducive to what the developer community actually needs and wants. So if someone can post a link in the text chat, and if you can fill it out and just give us your opinion on both timing as well as, how can we change it? Is there something that you'd like to see more of? Is there something that that we could add? And we will definitely listen to all suggestions and hopefully make office hours better. So yeah, and last thing I'll also say is we have a sneak peek into next week's office hours. We're going to have Flowverse joining, talking about Flowverse. So definitely join in next week's office hours. Now I'll stop talking in case anyone has some questions. Wow, it seems like we're doing a really good job on our documentation. No questions at all.
Hi.
Hey.
We go to breakout rooms.
Okay.
I'll go to the cadence room now if anyone has any cadence things they want to talk about.
Cool. So
Here
we'll
now.
start. Yeah. So
Can you hear me?
Josh and yep.
Hi.
Rob.
I have a question. Thanks for this information. It's very useful. We are currently in the process of developing an NFT play to earn game, the positive impact on nature conservation and preservation. We were actually we're now currently considering the different blockchains on which you focus, and I was wondering what the process is to apply for the Flow blockchain, and what the support is that we can expect from Flow if we choose to go for Flow.
Yeah, sure. So so to start building and testing out, building on Flow, you don't need to apply to anywhere. We have open access to our testnet. So you can, follow one of our sample projects. You can look up kitty items, or you can look up, if you go to docs.onflow.org, there's a bunch of resources that can get you started. So if you're just looking to scope out how the blockchain works, how Flow works, how the development process is, how Cadence works, that's all open access. If the question is more around, like direct contact with our partnerships teams, etc., then I would have to refer you to our team. Shrinjoy, do you have recommendations on how to go about that?
Sorry, Andrea, I missed the first part. What was that?
So Ro was asking, if they're going to choose Flow, what kind of support can they expect, and how can they get in touch with the team if they're looking to get some help?
Yeah, for sure. So I think the first level is definitely this Discord. And then typically from there, I believe you would reach out to someone like Albert, and based on kind of your project and where our resources are, we would be offering kind of different levels of support. So that'll be determined kind of like once you guys are up and running. But I definitely encourage you to reach out to Albert on Discord here, and he'll be able to help you guys out.
All right, excellent. Thanks.
Yeah, and Ro, feel free to reach out to me as well. I can put you in contact with Albert. And if you have questions on the testing side, I can also help you there. That's pretty much it.
Perfect. So other partners in the ecosystem like Baller Ventures and things like that, I'm not sure if they're directly related to you, or if that's yeah, if that's an advantage to go through them, or you would recommend going through you directly first and see from there what the best.
Yeah, I think
path
it's a
is.
case by case basis. You know, it's like if you're looking more for, like financing, if you're looking more for technical support, if you're looking more for some other sort of support. So you know, once you're up and running and you're, or at least you have clear what you need, then we can put you in touch with the right people.
All right, excellent. Thanks for the info.
No problem. So just want to clarify that there's 2 active breakout rooms now. So there's the Cadence breakout room and the SDKs and FCL breakout room. So please, if you have any Cadence questions or SDK and FCL questions, do join those 2 breakout rooms, which are the 2 other voice chats that you see under this one. And we can keep this office hour call for just general questions like Ro, you know, who was just asking how to get started on Flow. Well, if there's no question, does anyone have anything to share? Any project they're working on that they want to maybe talk about? It's always nice to see people's projects.
I've seen an interesting project about Next.js starter. Maybe you can tell us more about this.
Oh, nice, thanks. Yeah, so towards the end of last year, I was going through the FCL quick start. For those of you who don't know, that's like the first link on the docs.onflow.org, and I felt like there was a need for more of a starter template. So I created a bunch of different starter templates for Next.js, Svelte Kit, and now we're working on a Vue one, thanks to Bruno, who's working on porting it. And recently, a couple days ago, we also updated our FCL Quick Start to Next.js, which it used to be based on Create React App, but recently there's been a Webpack change or Create React App change that completely broke everything. So we fixed that, and now it's running on Next.js.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think it was with you, Laguit, that we were discussing the various quick starts, and you were the one asking for the Next.js one, right?
Yeah. No, I think it's a good idea to formalize the quick starts, and I liked also the transaction component and stuff.
Yeah, actually, I can get the link. And by the way, I don't know. I think Phil is in another breakout. Yeah, he's in the Cadence room. But Phil is contributing. Has a repo called Get the Flow Down, and that repo contains a lot of resources related to Flow. So some Cadence contracts, some tutorials, including Jacob has a great series on it. And there you can find all of the different FCL quick start templates that you can start building from. So definitely check it out. But here I'm going to link on the office hours text chat what Laguit was referencing. So let me paste it here. And the reason these quick starts, and I'll also link Get the. 1 second. So Get the Flow Down is a great resource just to kind of have a bird's eye view of different resources. And if you scroll down to the FCL section, you'll see that there's a different starter templates for React, Svelte Kit, Vue, Create React App, Next.js, etc. And the main rationale for building the starter templates the way that they're built is to show, as Laguit was mentioning, that I feel that it's a bit confusing for developers who are just starting out to understand, like how the actual transaction process works in terms of on the client side, like what do we need to work, what do we need to wait for, what do the numbers mean, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. and that transaction component kind of helps show, oh, the block is sealing, oh, the block is executing, and yeah, you can work around that.
Hey, I have sort of a general question.
Yeah.
So, I know a lot of us here are probably working towards some sort of business, right? And so my general question is this: if we want to discuss, say, and look for resources on the business plan for a particular idea that we're working on, and or perhaps discuss, an official partnership on that idea, who's the best person to speak with?
So this is like before even starting to build something, just to scope out.
Well, so let's say that you either, and I'm trying to make it general. In my situation, I'm almost done. So
Okay.
I'm almost done with but I'm at the point where I can still make changes and it won't have a production impact, right? So that's kind of my question. Although some people may not be as far as I am, for example.
Yeah, and just to double check, like, what's your goal of these conversations? Like, what are you trying to get out of it?
Well, pretty much just, hey, is this going to work?
Oh, okay. So more like, I have this. Do you mean from like a business perspective, right?
Right, business perspective, but also there's so many different ways to approach scripting and contracts, and kind of the mentality behind it in the community is, well, it's kind of hard to grasp. Like, there are some things that aren't well proposed or documented yet on, like, what's the right way to perform X. So one of the big ones, of course, is going to be royalties. There's 15 different opinions on how that should be done. So, like, which one's going to be the one that wins out?
Right.
And, how to prepare for that when you're designing it. If there is a way to prepare for re-implementation inside of contracts, with every scripting language, of course.
Yeah, I'm happy to provide a little bit of context. So especially for things like, for example, the storefront contract and things like that, or the royalties, like you said, in the metadata standard. Our number one process is to definitely involve the community and try to get the best ideas surfaced from there. But the other side of it, like you said, is sort of the business proposition, and in doing that, we're kind of looking at our partners as well. So going to our existing marketplaces, potential marketplaces that are considering Flow, and making sure that they're also happy with the standard, how the contracts work, and things like that. And so I guess my answer would be like that, because we're so early on, that development process is still in the works, which is why you notice kind of that lack of documentation and more discussion and debate around these ideas. But we definitely do try to optimize for creating things that are going to get you guys the best business impact as well. So for all the scripts and standards and things like that, we will do our best to communicate best practices once we know them. But just know that, like, anytime we are asking you guys to upgrade or do something, there is actually probably a big business value at the end of that as well. So yeah, that's just a little bit about how we think about when is the right time to start introducing, like, hey, this is the best way to do things, because we're so early on that if we propose it too early and maybe not all the partners want to do it that way, then we're kind of at a loss. So that's why it's been a little bit slow, but we're getting there.
Got it. Yeah, it can cause some conflict or friction, and yeah, I totally get wanting to avoid that. So anyway, I will be submitting a couple things to you guys soon here. It's just it's not ready for public forum yet.
Perfect. Yeah, looking forward to it. And once we have that, we'll be able to kind of guide you to the right places as well, and make sure your project's as successful as possible.
All right, well, I got to drop for other things, so you guys have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Thanks for the question, and thanks for joining. If anyone has any question, feel free to unmute and just shoot. For those of you who may be new to Flow or just curious about Flow and just hopping in to listen in, and you want to know what's happening around Flow, highly recommend checking out flowverse.co, and you'll get a good bird's eye view of all the projects that are happening, all the drops that are happening, and everything that's being built.
I had one question regarding the PR that's open right now on the NFT repo, on the Flow NFT repo, to add the first previews for the metadata standard. I was wondering, because there's quite a bit of conversation and discussion. I was wondering how, like, if we think that's something that's going to be sort of merged soon, like, or is it something like that's sort of supposed to be open for a few months, or is it something that we're trying to be incremental about and like merge the first few views quickly and then start adding more and more views and stuff like that? Like, it's quite a broad question, but I have the feeling that a lot of people think the NFT metadata standard is much further away than what it actually is. So I was wondering if you guys like discuss that, or if we can safely say that it's actually making great progress.
From what I've seen and from what I've perceived, it's definitely making great progress. There's still some things that are being talked about, as you said. I know we have Bjarte. I don't know if he can unmute. Maybe he's driving or something. But he's heavily involved in the NFT metadata standard discussion. If he is able to talk, I'm sure he has.
Hey, this is Bjartek. Yeah,
Hey, Bjartek.
I just stopped the car.
Sorry, man.
No, it's okay. Good timing actually. So I'm about to eat dinner, so I can't talk long, but it's progressing. We just have to agree basically on the display trait, and then on the rarity, on the royalty thing, I guess, after that. So the core interfaces are merged already. So display, I guess, is the one we need to agree on first. And from what I understand, it's approaching consensus. What Pete is really the one that's driving that, so you have to ask him, really. But I think it sounds to me like we are kind of agreeing more and more. So I hope we can merge that sooner rather than later, to be honest, myself.
Yeah, nice.
But if people have opinions, they need to voice them in the issue, right? If they don't agree with things, and
yeah, now's the time because
because I mean, it's always possible to just create a display v2 or another view that everybody could use, but But yeah, so we can just start with this suggestion and change over to something else if it doesn't fit with people's needs, because the standard is very generic, basically. So
yeah. Thanks, Bjarte. And thanks for stopping your car for this. True commitment.
yeah, so I actually I've arrived where I'm gonna be. So
Oh,
it's not
great.
I didn't stop to talk. I started talking because I arrived. So
Oh,
yeah,
cool. So perfect timing.
yeah. I'm gonna head off then. So bye bye. Thanks for a nice office hours. Yeah.
Thanks, Bjarte.
Later.
Take care. Have a great weekend.
Bye bye.
So I got a question come in via DM, and the question is, will there be gas fees on Flow at some point? There actually already are. It's just that they're usually subsidized by the wallet running the transaction, or by the actual processing of the transaction. So when you sign in with Blockto, for example, that's subsidized by Blockto. But the account creation fee is 0.001 Flow, and the transaction fee is like 0.00001. I'm not exactly sure of how many zeros, but yeah, there are gas fees, and they're just subsidized. There's actually a flip or discussion around gas fees as well. So yeah, it's worth mentioning high level that it's pretty early days for Flow, meaning all of you in the office hours today, you have a very good opportunity to kind of help shape Flow, because now it's where some critical flips and improvement proposals are being discussed. So you're not coming to a place where everything's been locked down and completely decided. You can be part of that conversation. You can be part of that discussion. So join us on GitHub and make your voice heard if you have strong opinions, if you have suggestions.
Hi, I have Ro here again. Can I have we have time for one more question?
Of course.
All right, excellent. So as I mentioned, so we're trying to make a positive impact on nature conservation with our NFT game, and obviously NFTs are not known for their sustainability. Some people say that like one NFT trade on Ethereum blockchain is the same as the energy use of a European household for 6 days or something like that. Those crazy statistics. Obviously, that's a proof of work system. So I'm wondering, do you have any data on the Flow blockchain? I know sustainability is a core part of your blockchain, but do you have any data on that metric?
Yeah, we actually do. I'm not sure if it's shareable yet, but we did have an external, I think it was, an external company kind of analyze impartially, right? So completely objectively, what the energy cost of a transaction is on Flow, and just a general overview of the energy on Flow. I think we're going to be sharing it once it's finalized. So, but the TLDR of it, as you can imagine, being a proof of stake chain, it's a lot lower than a proof of work chain.
All right, excellent. Looking forward to that report. Would be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Do you know when it's coming out?
I'm not sure. I think soon. Srinjoy, you unmuted. You probably have a better timeline. No.
This is David.
Dave,
in terms of when we're going to release it, no, but Ro, please just contact me directly, because I'd like to just get your thoughts on a couple of things. But what Andrea was trying to allude to is that we're way more energy efficient than something like proof of work. If you were to use an analogy, and again, I'm in office hours, so don't put me on the spot here, but it's substantially less than what you would actually do even on your computer, right? Your regular activities on your computer, minting an NFT with Flow is substantially less. But again, it's not official of when we're going to release it, but I'd love to follow up with you directly and even get some of your thoughts and opinions, and I'll reach out to you directly via DM.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely reach out. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
No problem. And sorry, David, that I mistook you for Srinjoy, but you have the same background. So, and I don't see nicknames.
Yeah, I know. I gotta.
I thought it was Srinjoy.
You gotta put my Flow Avatar on.
Yeah, you gotta rock. Your NFTs. How does everyone like my avocado, which was discovered by, I believe, Carol, right? Or Alice?
No, it was definitely Kim.
Kim, yeah, I think it was Kim.
Oh, Kim, I owe you so much.
It's an avocado cat.
It's an
Yeah.
avocado.
An avocado?
We love it.
We should make an NFT project around avocado cats.
Maybe.
Or fruit cats. We have cats with all different fruits and vegetables.
I wish everyone could see that dope cat, the CryptoKitties shirt you have on.
Yeah, I fear that if I turn on my video, either I can't turn it on, people get kicked.
All right.
There's a 25-person limit. But yeah, I'll let everyone imagine how awesome it is.
It's really awesome.
So we only have a couple minutes left. Just want to make sure that if anyone has any last questions, this is the time to ask them, because we're going to be closing soon. And if you haven't already, follow us on follow Flow Blockchain on Twitter. We also are streaming this office hours on Twitch, and in the coming weeks and months, we'll be ramping up our Twitch streaming as well, offering a little bit more content. So look out for that. And we also have a Telegram group, also Flow_blockchain. And make sure that you check out all of the flips that are currently in flight. As I said earlier, this is your chance to kind of be part of creating Flow and defining how Flow works. And in our next week's office hours, we're going to have Flow come and join and talk about all of the cool stuff that they're doing. And yeah, cool. Let me see. I got a DM. So one question is, I won't say who it is. They didn't want to, say it. Sounds like Flow doesn't have a layer 2 or do sharding. How is Flow able to handle so many scale? Well, that's because Flow has been architected differently to other blockchains for this exact reason. So sharding, as the Flow team, as the Dapper team, based on the success of CryptoKitties, we're evaluating what blockchain to build their next project on. Nothing really stood out as being a viable option because sharding And layer 2 solutions kind of add unnecessary complexity, and you have to do a lot of grunt work to get things working together. And it just adds complexity. So they thought, hey, why don't we change the paradigm, and rather than have nodes doing everything, how about we split up the responsibilities of nodes, and we have nodes that just care about consensus. We just have nodes that care that do execution, so that based on how much requirements there are for each part of the transaction, right? So like the consensus part, the execution part, those nodes can scale, and the nodes that don't need to scale don't need to scale, keeping things a little bit modular, right? So the overall answer is it's able to scale because it's been designed so that what takes the most resources, which is the execution of the transaction and of the smart contracts, can be delegated to, for example, very powerful data centers without needing everyone to have very powerful data centers to run a replicated node, right, of, let's say, a regular chain where the node does everything. So hopefully that answers your question. For those of you who actually want to learn a little bit more about how this all works, I recommend going to onflow.org/primer. That will give you a high-level overview of how the various execution nodes, the various node types work, and why Flow is built the way that it's built. And the advantage with that is also that you don't have to do sharding, and you don't have to have layer 2s. Not that there may not be layer 2s, but at least the layer 1 is performant. So cool. You're welcome. Just responding to the DM. Cool, awesome. So we're over time. I'll let you go.
Hi, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes, may I ask you the last question, if we
Sure.
have time? Yes. We are working with one project which related with NFT, and we have before we contact with one of your developer and had some support from him, but currently maybe I don't know, maybe some update from Discord, and we cannot contact with him. My question is, do you have some colleagues from your team who can directly support reply for some question, not stupid question, but some, because we are working with project for one project which one of the main idea to store all data in blockchain. We don't like idea to have some how to say IPFS approach. We want to use some store data in blockchain directly, and we look to the documentation. We try to prepare some our contract, but we have some question. Yes, we have opportunity to ask our question in general channels, but sometimes it's not comfortable for us, and that's why my question: do you have some colleagues from your team to support to answer some question?
Sure. If you're looking to ask, maybe you're not comfortable sharing the questions on a public Discord, probably the best point of contact at the moment is Albert. So if you look up Albert on the Flow team, on the Discord, he's probably the best person, and he can direct you in case that question needs to go to someone else. So.
Okay. Is it available here on this chat?
No.
No.
But you can DM me and I'll send you his Discord name, or you can also, if you have a list of questions, you can also send them to me directly, and I can get answers for you.
Okay, thank you. This is the first question. The second question is it possible, for example, we will finish our contract, we will test it, maybe alone, maybe with your support, and what is the next step? How we can deploy our contract in main chain of Flow? Do we have some strict procedure, or it's some how to say, case by case? It depends on project. For my understanding,
can
for
implement the link.
yes, for receive accept from the mainnet, we need to share our contract to receive some validation of this contract, correct? That's
Yeah.
why I have to understand what is the procedure of validation of new contract.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So have you seen the mainnet deployment guidelines? I'm going to post it in the office hours chat, and that will give you an overview of how deployment works. So
if to be honest, I tried to find it, but did not. Okay, I will.
if
I will
you
ask her
you
directly.
should,
Yes, maybe you will share me.
check out that resource that I sent that explains the whole process. And in that page, there's also a link to the actual form that you have to fill out in order to get the contract approved.
No. I see that you have some form. It's understand for me, but what is the next? For example, we will post to this form, and what is the next steps? What is is it some described approach, or it's depend on the project?
It depends on the project. Again, this is only a temporary until we have stable cadence, and that will allow for permissionless deployment. So it really is only a temporary measure. It's project dependent, and it depends. For example, if your project is using standard interfaces or whether it's using non-standard interfaces. I think the SLA there isn't really an official one, but it's probably like around 2 weeks to get feedback, and the team will reach out and walk you through any changes or any other thing. So I would say the first step is to fill out the submission form, and if you have questions around that, feel free to reach out via DM as well once you do it.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem. All right. I think we're over time, so we can stop it here unless people want to continue the conversation. So I wish everyone a very good weekend, and see you next week for the next office hours. Please remember to fill out the survey if you have strong opinions, suggestions around when office hours should happen, and also how we should structure it if you have ideas. So please submit your feedback so that we can improve them forever. And if someone can paste the type form. Yeah, Ludwig?
Yeah, thanks. Bye-bye. Have a nice one.
All right, thanks, man. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
All right. The type form is in the chat if you want to fill it out. We'd love to hear your opinion. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much. Have a good week.